What if I told you the America you were taught about in school was only half the story? A story filled with hidden motives, secret deals, forgotten people, and events that never made it into textbooks. Today, we're going to uncover how America was actually founded, the untold story behind the world's most influential nation. This is not just a history lesson. This is the story of power, rebellion, ambition, survival, and above all, transformation. So, sit back, because the America you think you know is about to change. Long before the name United States existed, long before the arrival of Europeans, this land was home to over 500 native nations. Powerful civilizations like the Iroquois Confederacy, which inspired some parts of American democracy. The Mississippian mound builders, who built cities larger than London. The Pueblo cultures, creators of advanced irrigation systems. The Great Plains tribes, masters of the land. This was an empty wilderness. This was a thriving, organized world. And here's a fact most people never learn. When Europeans arrived, native nations outnumbered them by millions. Textbooks say Columbus discovered America. Reality? Columbus never stepped foot on what is today the United States. He landed in the Caribbean and believed he was in Asia. Yet his arrival triggered the wave of European exploration that would eventually change the continent forever. But here's the hidden part. Spain wasn't the only European power hungry for control. Soon, Britain, France, the Netherlands, and Portugal rushed to claim land. This competition shaped the future U.S. more than any single explorer. The British didn't cross the Atlantic for freedom. They came for profit. America was seen as an economic gold mine. Land, lumber, tobacco, fur, trade routes. Companies like the Virginia Company were created specifically to make money. Jamestown, the first permanent English settlement, wasn't built by pioneers seeking liberty. It was built by investors. And survival was brutal. By 1610, 80% of settlers had died from starvation, disease, and conflict. Yet the colony continued because profit kept pushing Britain forward. Before Washington, Jefferson, or Franklin, the true founders were native nations, African enslaved people, European settlers, religious refugees, frontier traders, and women who built communities. They shaped the culture and identity long before politics did. But there's a part we rarely acknowledge. By the mid-1600s, America's economy wasn't built by colonists. It was built by enslaved African labor. This is the untold truth. The plantation system generated billions. Northern states benefited through shipping and trade. Wall Street itself has ties to slavery. Many founding fathers owned enslaved people. Slavery wasn't a Southern issue. It was a national economic engine. America's foundation is intertwined with this painful truth. Schools often teach colonists wanted freedom from tyranny. The truth is more complex. Britain had protected the colonies for decades, but after the expensive French-Indian War, Britain needed money, so they began taxing sugar, paper, tea, everyday goods. Colonists weren't angry about taxes, they were angry about taxes without representation. And even deeper, they saw a future where they could rule themselves and profit far more. Tensions exploded in the Boston Massacre, the Boston Tea Party, the battles of Lexington and Concord. In 1776, the Declaration of Independence was written, not as an act of instant freedom, but as a bold gamble. America had no army, no navy, no money, no international allies. They were fighting the most powerful empire in the world, and yet they believed they could win. Here's a truth many Americans never hear. America could not have won the Revolutionary War without France. France supplied money, weapons, ships, and thousands of soldiers. The final major victory, Yorktown, was secured by French forces blocking the British Navy. America didn't rise alone. It rose with the help of Britain's greatest enemy. After winning independence, America didn't magically turn into one nation. It was fragile. States were arguing, the government was weak, there was no stable currency. Foreign powers thought America would collapse. This led to the Constitutional Convention of 1787, and behind closed doors, leaders debated, argued, compromised, and reshaped the nation. The Constitution was created to form a stronger union, but here's what's often forgotten. Most people couldn't vote, women had no political rights, Native Americans weren't considered part of the nation, enslaved Africans were counted as 3/5. America was founded on ideals, but not yet equality. It was a beginning, not a finished product. America wasn't founded by a single moment, or a single man, or a single document. It was founded through native nations who shaped the land, enslaved Africans whose labor built the economy, immigrants seeking opportunity, rebels fighting for self-rule, leaders who dared to imagine something new. America was founded on contradictions, freedom and oppression, hope and hardship. And the greatest part of the American story is this: it is still being